go. Hey guys, KCTCG here. This time with Danny and Sebastian.
What's up, guys?
Hello.
So today we're actually going to be talking about how to take a loss, or specifically how to lose. We're not
Ooh,
telling you how to throw a game,
no, no.
but
No, there are many ways for that.
what we're trying to say is, what do you do when you lose? So I'll start things off. Like to me, when I lose, I like to look back and reevaluate what happened. Like, did I let this happen? Was there something that I was supposed to guard? Was I not supposed to take? Was I not supposed to stop? Something was everything in my control and my opponent, like last week, got lucky.
Yeah.
Now, realistically speaking, right, guys, like, but when I lose, right, or if I lose, when if I tend to will reevaluate what had happened. I'll play the game back, or if in the situation my opponent just flipped over yellow every single turn and I just actually couldn't stop it, if I get tilted pretty much,
Yeah.
I will just pack everything up. I'm not gonna leave the venue, but I'll walk outside, breathe in fresh air, maybe go to my nearest Starbucks, to my nearest boba shop. Hell, I'll go to the supermarket. I'll get something to drink. I'll relax, and then I'll go back for the next round if I'm tilted.
Yeah.
Yeah, just don't take losses personally.
No, definitely not.
That's a really good one, honestly.
Yeah.
Sebs, what do you do when you lose?
So I'm gonna throw it like Ken. If I lose, right?
No,
not
no,
not
no.
when,
When
but
you
if
lose.
if I lose. Yeah. No, I mean losing is inevitable. You're gonna lose to luck. You're gonna lose to a better player. You're gonna lose. Life is about losing, but when you lose, you learn. That's my biggest thing. I've always tried to keep that mentality with everything,
What
from any
doesn't kill
card
you makes
games
you
I
stronger,
play.
right?
Yeah, 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 exactly. If it's a card game or if it's like a competitive fighting game or anything like that, I've always looked at a loss as a learning experience. What did I learn from my opponent? What can I take away from that learning experience? What can I do better next time in order to avoid that loss? And typically I don't get like really tilted when I get beat, when I lose. Most of the time I'm just like whatever about it. Um if it was like really tilting, like how I mentioned in the previous week's episode, a couple weeks ago I lost to just everybody over triggering me, and that's not the best experience. I took it kind of personal, like how Danny said not to, and I personally left after the tournament right away because I was very upset. Now, me being that upset, yeah, I took my L's. I went home. I cleared my head, did my normal things like the rest of my day, grab some food, grab something to drink, kick back and relax. After all that, again, like how we normally do, you can sit back and kind of, go through the match again in your head and think, okay, was there anything I could have done? No, there wasn't anything I could have done because of this. All right, then. You just kind of learn to suck it up. Don't sit there and, next week you come back with like this attitude or like this kind of disdain for other players and be like, oh, well, that person only beat me last week because they got lucky. Like, no, it's a new week. Do your best. If you win, you win. If you lose, you lose. That's part of it.
And Danny, what about you?
Well, I'm gonna be different from y'all and say when I lose. Uh, yeah. I
Okay.
typically would like the both of you guys evaluate the reasons why I lost. So I would go back, think about, did my opponent just in the instance of Vanguard put more triggers or whatnot? Did I took a damage that I wasn't supposed to that I could have guarded? But at the end of the day, I just, say shuffle up, let's play another one, just move on from it because it's a learning experience, and there's no point in me feeling like too tilted about it because it's already happened. Me feeling bad about losing a game isn't really gonna change anything, so I'll just like move on, keep playing a different game.
That's Honestly, a good mentality. Like all three of us had good mentalities. I mean, maybe I'm biased here, but realistically speaking, right? Like if you're gonna take a loss and you're gonna walk away salty and you're not gonna try to reflect on it, you're gonna blame it on just luck, you're gonna blame it on something else and not take any time to think about, hey, was I at fault? Could I have done something? Then I'll be honest, if you consider yourself any form of competitive, if you think you're a good player, I would say stop right now. You're not, and I can guarantee you, any player worth their, what's that saying? Any person worth their salt,
Yeah, yeah,
like any good player worth their value, uh, will look back and think, what happened? Could I have stopped this? If so, why didn't I?
true.
And if you, no, I can also guarantee you, very rarely a player that's good will say, "Dang, they just got lucky. They're just that happened." Like we'll joke all the time too, right, guys? Like when we lose, it could be to luck, it could be to anything else. You're such a good player, man. Thanks.
I
Yeah,
mean, even if it is just luck, you should look back and identify that. Like,
yeah,
know that's the reason why you lost, and just move on from it. Like, okay, I lost. There wasn't because they flipped over triggers every single turn. There was nothing really I could do about it. So, like, just move on, and I'll play a different game, and I'll maybe keep that in mind.
yeah. Being able to, again, like how we mentioned earlier, pushing yourself away from it and not taking it so personally, because we've seen all types of players in this game. There's people in the community that the moment they start getting, you know, either unlucky or they start losing, they take it very, very harshly. And that is just really bad, not only for you, but the people surrounding you. Because again, what happens when you start to take things personally? People start to get offended. People start to get, really hurt. They might say something that they might not mean because they're angry. You know, I've had players in big tournaments like get up and yell at me after me beating them. And it's like, whoa, like, hey, chill out. Like, dude, like, just learn to take the L. You lost. Like, get over it. Sit there and reflect on what happened, but don't start coming at people, sideways and trying to get all crazy because, again, it's not good for you. It's not good for the
Don't
community.
flip the table.
Don't flip the table. Yeah, it
Yeah.
looks it looks bad, and
Not
it
only does it like put a bad taste in your mouth when you get emotional over that you lost, it just puts a bad taste in everyone else's mouth, like
yeah,
around
No one
you.
wants
You
to play
know.
with you.
the vibe is killed.
Yeah,
The air feels
realistically,
heavy
right?
and bad. Yeah, not good.
Like,
Not good at all.
and that's the thing too. Like, a lot of players will try to deny, a bad feeling, but because they don't want to feel weak or look weak, they just want to be like, "Oh, it's whatever," and walk away.
Yeah.
And if you keep it bottled up, like, I don't need you to lean your head on someone's shoulder and be like, "Hey, man, why'd I lose? Why am I so bad at this game?" Like, I just need you to vent it out. You can be alone for all I care. Just make sure that you're not just bottling up and just be like, "Hey, I lost. I hate this game," and it'll just happen over and over and over again. It's an endless cycle, and you don't want to deal with it.
Yeah. And again, too, like, I mean, if the way that we talk, like we try to reach out to players who want to get better. If you want to get better, you're gonna have to lose. Like that comes with everything. The moment you picked up this game, you didn't think I'm gonna be the best player in the world and not take any losses. You didn't pick up this game and immediately just start destroying everybody at your local, the guy who always wins. You didn't go to your first big regional and immediately top. Like, no, you have to learn how to lose. You have to learn how to play and play better. And you're going to, again, losing experiences are learning experiences.
I mean, I want to throw one out there. Like, so a few years ago, and when I say a few years, I mean like I think 10 years ago, maybe more.
Mm.
Uh, I don't know if this reference will catch on to some people, But if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's a Street Fighter reference. All you need to do is YouTube search up uh, Daigo parry or just
Oh, the
Daigo Chun
parry?
Li. Yes.
Yeah, the Chun-Li parry.
So yeah, pretty
Nuts.
much, right? Those that know, you will know. But those that
Yeah.
don't know, all you need to do is watch. And in this moment, I was right. It is like 18 years ago. Dang, this thing didn't age
It's
well.
old. It's super old. Yeah.
But the person that played against him, all he could do was say, "This is what I'm gonna do to win." And his opponent, Daigo, just said, "I got you. Let me
Hmm.
just outskill you
Yep.
and take the victory because that's how good of a player he is." But I can guarantee you, this man didn't just wake up one day and say, "I'm gonna just pull off the most broken play you've ever seen." I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure he's had to practice this over and over again, lose matches left and right. His opponent even had to rewatch it just to make sure nothing happened. And even from that one moment, people from that moment forward have been watching. You can call it a loss, you can call it a victory. It doesn't matter. They watch that play over and over, trying to replicate this, so they can do it themselves. And
Yeah.
like this may be a big stretch because realistically, right? This man, when he did it, it was just amazing. It shattered most people's conceptions of the game. But realistically speaking, this is what you need to do when you take a loss. Don't just walk away from it. Review it in your head, like what happened. Could I have done something? Was this what I should have done? And even if you don't have an answer to that, rewatch and learn from your mistake, or
Yeah.
rewatch and learn from your opponent's triumph. Because you can call yourself a mistake when you played, right? You can also call it, my opponent was a better player. How can I learn from that?
Yeah. It's always just gonna be a part of it. Like I don't I don't see a world, at least in any world that we have here, in any anything that you pick up, losing. It's just gonna be it. Like you're gonna be bad. You have to get better. It's like the analogy that you use, Ken, right? It's like you don't get diamonds by buffing rocks against rocks,
Correct.
or to that effect, right?
You
It's
you
like,
only get diamonds from buffing it against something else that's made a diamond. Like if you ask anybody that phrase, they'll catch on. But hey, some people are just afraid to get beat up.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like, yeah,
Yeah,
I could personally attest to that. I was like, I used to think that I was pretty good, but I was only really playing in my local meta, and it wasn't really until I met Ken actually where like I had to reevaluate how I actually should play or view the game, and
mhm.
like that's how I learned to take my L's. Because believe me, I took a lot of L's against Ken.
And realistically, like, and that's the thing. A lot of people that take L's normally don't want to keep playing the person that gives them the L. They don't
Right.
want to get beat over and over again. However, like Danny, for example, he is still a player that will willingly play me because every single time he wants to play me, he wants to learn more. I know
Yeah.
other people as well that want to play me. And I'll be honest, sometimes I want to deny games because at a certain point in time, I can't teach someone more than what, they can learn. I can only
Right.
teach what you're willing to learn, what you're willing to take. But
Yeah.
I'll also say this, if you're only waiting for me to teach and you're not waiting to learn on your own, that is another thing. Because you are literally waiting for me to give you something that you want, but someone else would just be like, oh, I'll just wait until my next lesson. I don't need to learn anymore because I'm already better than I already am. Like, no, I can pretty much guarantee anybody that if you think that someone will teach you and you're going to put zero effort into it, just like school, just like any profession out there, if
Hmm.
you think this way, you're not going to go far because, one, a person's not going to teach you if they don't see improvement. B, they're not going to teach you if you show no initiative.
Yeah.
And the last one, C, they're not going to teach you if they don't know more themselves. And what if you're potentially are able to know more?
Yeah.
Yeah, don't wait for like someone to like hand you it, you know. That's not usually how life works. You do have to like work towards like trying to get better yourself. Now obviously you can still rely on these people as like a resource for you to get better, but if you're not willing to put in the effort to get better yourself, then what's even the point of that person helping you in the first place?
Yeah.
Yep.
I feel like also like to add on to that, the probably one of the biggest things, and I know a lot of people don't really like doing this, just ask, you know? It's as simple as asking, hey, where do you think I messed up? What do you think I could have done better? Was there any point in the game where maybe you thought you were losing to me? Those are questions that, like, if you want to understand, like, more in depth on whatever you're doing in general, like, not just a card game, you should ask questions because the better players, most of the time, like it's the reason why we're doing this podcast, We want to help because we want to see other people do a lot better. I don't personally feel super good going and just steamrolling people because that's not fun. If I can get somebody that does like that I can have a really great match with, I would much rather take 5 or 6 great matches than 20 easy games. Like that's boring. I don't want players to be bad. I want players to be good. I want them to be better. Like
Like, don't get me wrong, and I'm pretty sure Sebs will feel this way. If you throw money on the line and, we're here for a tournament, sure, I'll take the easy money. But at the same time, if it's at the loss of the community because I steamrolled everybody, maybe not.
yeah, yeah. No, honestly, yeah, because it's like now what happens that you're the best player, you know. Nobody is up to your caliber depending on wherever you're at. Kind of like how Danny mentioned where he was playing in just his locals and then it was until he started to move to another locals and see what other players can do. Like you feel capped. You feel capped at a certain point. If you're really not going out there to play the new players or have a different experience and learn from the quote unquote the best, the better players, then again, what is the point of you wanting to push yourself forward, wanting to be a better player, wanting to at the end of the day, I mean, to win. We enjoy it because like these are good games, but as a competitor, you know what it's like to get a win, and you just really like, you enjoy that feeling enough to want to keep getting it.
Mhm. And that's another thing too, right? Like, if you want to be a sore loser and not ask for help, think about the other way, right? If you want to play and you're the best and you want to stay the best, well, I hope you like doing something monotonous because you're going to be playing by yourself a lot because no one wants to play anymore if, you're not going to try to help them get better or the community is not getting better as a whole. Because, yes, you can fault people for not wanting to be good. You can fault them for not wanting to learn or, take a loss, right? But I'm pretty sure no one wants to just sit there and just get beat over and over again. They want to learn so eventually they can beat you.
Yep.
And that's how they want to lose. Like, they want to lose and take away something every game. But if you don't want to lose, well, you're never going to get better.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that moment that you walk out of your little comfort zone and you get bodied left and right, I guess someone, or not even just me, someone will be there with, $5 in their hand going, hey, you want to quit the game? I'll buy everything you own for $5.
True.
And funny enough, speaking of which, that will actually lead us into our next week's topic, guys. Next week we are going to be talking about as a player how to read the market, judge the market, or deal with the market. Because I can tell you right now, a lot of people are not happy the way card prices or even just, you know, your basic needs for any game, how prices skyrocket or fluctuate.
Yeah.
So, guys, this is KCTCG. We are signing off. Oops.
See you later, guys.
Goodbye, y'all.
Bye, guys.